All right, so we are now leaving the Raleigh-Durham area, specifically Durham, and we are heading in the general direction of the Villages, Florida. We're going to be down there for Thanksgiving, and this is basically the start of that trip. Raleigh was fun. It was nice to visit with some friends, but I'm glad to be heading on. I was getting kind of itchy, ready to travel again. How about you, Jen?
I had a wonderful time. I mean, it was just
Get to play?
so, I don't know the word wonderful, running out of adjectives, to see friends and family. I got to see my brother. We got to see our dear friends Kim and Brett, Mary, Maria, Sherry, Karen, Mary. We just got to see so many great people, and it just makes me, makes me so grateful that I have good friends in my life, and we're healthy, and I don't know. I have Carl and Cassie. It was just great.
The Robins, yes, they will make a little cameo in this video. That's the plan anyway. They have kids, and their little girls especially were interested in being on YouTube, so we just got a little clip for them. All right, guys, this is the Robins family. Cassie, Kelly, and Emma. What do you guys think about us coming back here to visit?
So I think it's good since they took time off from the road to visit their friends, and that was very important. Mommy, do you have something to say?
It's great seeing you guys again.
So we don't really know where we're going. I'm ready to kind of take a leisurely trip and have some stops, and because we're not on a big timeline. We have a week to get into Florida. We got that. Steve's kind of ready to stay somewhere, which is weird for him, given what he just said.
Meaning I want to get there and settle for a week and a half, just because I'm not really all that excited about traveling 95 south on the East Coast, just because I've kind of been there, done that so many times, and there's nothing on that route that I'm particularly excited about. So it feels like, we travel a lot, there's work, and that's kind of like the expense without getting much of the payoff, because there's not a whole lot I want to see. So I'd rather just travel quickly and get down there and hang out and relax and get set up and everything and get some work done.
But Steve doesn't know about the great harvest hosts I have planned for us. So there's things that we can see. There's wineries, there's farms. I just want to go for the experience.
Okay, so maybe there will be a payoff with the daily travel.
So who knows? We'll see. We don't even know. It's 1:10 when we're leaving right now. We're leaving Durham. So we're not going to make it too far. We'll get where we get, and we'll see you there.
There's a light from a million suns burning through your blood. Feel the rivers run, a window to the hope and...
So we are at a winery right now in Timminsville, South Carolina.
Wait. Did your southern accent just come out?
Maybe.
In South Carolina.
Maybe, yeah. This is our journey from Raleigh to Florida, and this is our first stop. It's a Harvest Host. What's it called?
Cartersville Country Winery.
Cartersville Country Winery. We did a tasting last night and bought some wine and had a pretty easy night. It's a pretty uneventful trip, which is good and seemingly rare lately.
Right, we didn't know how far we were going to make it, and we texted one other Harvest Host on the way down that was a little closer to to Raleigh, and they never texted back, so we luckily made it to our original destination. If you know anything about wine, the South really does more sweet wines, fruit wines, muscadine grapes, so it's sweet wine. But yeah, we did a tasting, and the kids are playing for a few minutes, and we're gonna head out pretty soon.
And next, we're planning on going to a regenerative farm in Georgia.
Yeah, I'm excited about that.
All right, guys, we just arrived at our harvest host. I believe it's called something like Whippoorwill Farms. It's regenerative farm, and I'm not an expert on regenerative farming.
Or even saying the word.
No, definitely not an expert at that. But I know it's good for the planet, and it's good for the humans who consume the food that is grown on the land of a regenerative farm.
It's hard to say. It's Pueblo.
Yes.
Pueblo dwellings. There you go.
It's a challenge.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
This guy wants to be on camera. He likes the attention. He wants to be a YouTube star. What do you think about these pigs, John?
I've never been around this many pigs, this close and personal. I want to put this little piglet. Look behind you.
I'm just curious about the whole regenerative part of it.
Yeah,
and how that works.
About a year ago, we moved our farm from the last place that we lived, which was about 15 minutes from here. And we started with just 2 acres, and it was basically just a sustainable farm, meaning that we kind of did everything to just keep the land the same, you know, try not to harm the land. So we did everything with the land in mind, but we couldn't really restore the environment. So a year ago, we bought this piece of property, and it's 40 acres. And the reason why we bought it is it was because it was completely just overgrown forests that like were mismanaged. You have all of these like useless, worthless trees like sweet gums, popcorn trees, Chinaberry trees. They don't really produce anything. And then you've got oaks that come in and sprout as well. But if you think about what native animal populations need to survive, what the environment needs, like the forest systems have to be managed. So you talk about forest fires in the West and why that's happening. It's because things look like this. And so there's no management with it. And so what we're doing is we're coming in and we're just letting the animals slowly be rotated through. We selectively cut trees that aren't, you know, producing anything like nuts or fruits or a wood that we could eventually use for timber. Mm-hmm. And then we plant ground cover and things like that. The animals are just a byproduct of restoring the forest. So when we're done farming someday, your native animal populations can move back in, like deer and fox and rabbits and squirrel and all these birds that we have. When you just cut for pasture, what do you have? You have no place, no habitat for all of these other native animals.
We are leaving Hanna Park in Jacksonville, Florida, and we found this just looking around on RV Trip Wizard. And let me just say that I love this park. We are in this like tropical setting that has been actually really private. There's a beach across the street. There's a lake that way, and it is all for $34. So I would love to come back here and stay. Why don't we stay 3 nights? 3 nights, but I could have definitely stayed longer. I loved it. What'd you think?
Yeah, it's really nice. You can ride your bike around here, and like Jen said, there's a lake down there. And the only downside, I'd say, which is probably great in the summer, is a little too shady on our site. So it's kind of dark inside, which I didn't love.
I didn't mind it because it felt like we slept better, like it was darker for sleeping.
It's probably great in the summer when you're all hot and you want the extra shade, but right now I'd rather have a little more sun.
I liked it. And we are headed to Wildwood, Florida, which is right next to the Villages where Steve's mom and husband live.
I've been afraid, been alone, been undone. I've been on fire, flying high as the sun. In a world where things come and go, the only thing I've ever known is true. Oh, is you. I've been the prince, I've been the...
We are now in Wildwood, Florida, next to the Villages where my mom lives. We came down here to visit her for Thanksgiving. That was kind of the main goal. And now that we're here, we're actually going to be here for, 10 days?
9 days.
9 days, and we're going to get organized. And we are feeling right now. We're feeling better right now, but when we got here, we were feeling pretty just overwhelmed with feeling like things were just kind of chaotic and dirty and just needed to be cleaned up and organized, and we got a lot of things that we need to do. So it feels really good to be here and settling in. And I think Jen wants to talk about how she's been feeling a little bit in terms of organization.
This is my therapy session. So we are at a Thousand Trails resort. No, it's not even a resort, campground. It's Three Flags RV Park in Wildwood, Florida. More about Thousand Trails. This is our first experience, so we're going to do some more in depth on our first experience. But yeah, I mean, we had a little bit of Steve got a little bit really annoyed with how disorganized it is around here when we were on our trip, and I agreed with him. It was, we've been hustling for 4.5 months, and when you are out seeing new things and trying to get to experience as much as possible, you end up just throwing stuff in places. And it does at some point, you're like, God, this is really bad. We need to do something about this. We're just not functioning well. And so we started, how many days ago? I don't even know what day it is. It's Monday. We got here on, I don't know, what day? Whatever, it doesn't matter. 2 days ago, let's just say. And set out to figure out what do we really need to organize. I get overwhelmed when I think about organizing the rig. Or like when we were in Walmart yesterday and Steve's like, well, what about this divider, this for the pantry? And I was like, I can't handle that. Let's just do one thing at a time. So right now we're starting small. I have cleaned out a junk drawer. So believe it or not, you have junk drawers in your rig, and it can easily get that way. You just keep throwing the same things in them over and over. So I ended up buying these plastic dividers, and our drawer is now organized, which surprisingly, something that small made me feel much better. The other thing,
the dog food. So we bought a bigger bag of dog food. I've been buying small bags of dog food because they fit better in this little drawer, this little cabinet area that we have to put them in. But the big bags don't fit, so it basically sits around our we trip over it, and it really stinks. But we want to start buying the bigger bag because we want to keep him on the same food. And I think it just makes sense to have a bigger bag so we don't run out so fast because he's a big dog and he eats a lot of food. So we need to find a solution for that. We have not yet found a solution. The place that we want to put it, it's kind of awkward and it's hard to get stuff into. So we went to Walmart yesterday to look. We didn't find anything, so we're going back on the hunt today to find something that will hopefully work for that space.
Yeah, so our Stilton, he has 4 cups of food a day, and so yeah, it's a big bag of dog food. And the way that they design these rigs is just, you're lucky you have storage space. That's always a good thing. But the way that they design this particular storage space we're trying to put it in, because we're trying to avoid, we know we can put it outside, but we're trying to avoid doing that right now. It is very deep, but it's very hard. It's a small, we'll show you what it looks like, but it's just it's hard. It's hard finding those dimensions in a storage container without it kind of going all the way to the back and making it hard to get out. So something like that. It just takes a while to organize.
All right, so quick update. We found at least a temporary solution for the dog food. I picked up these 2 containers right here at Walmart yesterday, and they fit pretty well underneath that cabinet. And that is it for this episode.
Join us next time where we take you to Boca Raton, Florida, and do our review of our very first 1,000 Trails experience.
And also, if you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. And if you have not already, hit the subscribe button.
And just thank you from the bottom of our hearts that you watch us. We appreciate it and wanted to wish you a very happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving! Happy